Have you ever followed all the financial advice you're supposed to and still felt stuck? You budget, you save, you skip dinners out, cancel subscriptions, pick up freelance gigs, you play by the rules. But the finish line never seems to get closer. That's because most people are running a race without knowing where the track ends. They're chasing financial freedom with no real definition of what it looks like or when it starts. The advice is always the same. Cut expenses, invest early, get your 401k, wait and wait some more. At first, it sounds doable. $1 million by age 60, maybe 2, just to be safe. Add in rental income, dividend stocks, some crypto on the side, and suddenly, the path to freedom looks more like a mountain with no summit. The deeper truth? Financial freedom isn't just about a big number in a bank account. It's about clarity, knowing exactly what you need to live life on your terms. That's where most people get it wrong. They aim for rich instead of free. They chase complexity instead of simplicity. But something is shifting. In 2025, the FIRE movement, financial independence, retire early, is making a powerful comeback. Not just among spreadsheet nerds or digital nomads, but among everyday people who are fed up with burnout culture and broken promises. The new wave of financial independence isn't about retiring to a beach at 35, it's about reclaiming autonomy. It starts with a single concept, the freedom number. Not some fantasy figure pulled from the sky, but a specific personal target. A number that says, once I reach this, I control my time. And when that number becomes clear, so does the path. Suddenly, every financial decision makes sense. The noise fades, and for the first time, there's a destination that feels real. This isn't theory. It's not a hack. It's a lens that turns the chaos of personal finance into a focused strategy. In the next few minutes, you'll learn what the freedom number is, how to find yours, and why it might be the most important financial concept no one ever taught you in school. If you're ready to stop drifting and start building toward real freedom, stick around. And if this resonates so far, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dive strategies that actually move the needle. For most people, money feels like a lifelong treadmill. They work, they save, they invest when they can. But no matter how fast they run, the finish line keeps disappearing into the distance. Why? Because the target is always vague. Financial freedom sounds great until you try to define it. Is it $1 million, 2? Is it when the house is paid off? When the kids are grown? When you're finally too tired to keep going? Without a clear answer, every step feels uncertain. That's why the most powerful shift isn't in strategy, it's in perspective. Enter the freedom number, a brutally simple concept that forces clarity and kills noise. It starts with a single question. How much money would it take to stop working forever and still live the life you want? Not the life someone else says you should want. Not luxury yachts or 10-bedroom mansions. Just your life, lived fully on your terms. This is the number that breaks the spell. Here's the math. Calculate your ideal annual spending, your true cost of freedom. Then multiply it by 25. That's your freedom number. This equation is built on the 4% rule, a time-tested principle drawn from decades of market data. It shows that if your money is invested well, you can safely withdraw 4% per year and sustain your lifestyle indefinitely. So if your ideal life costs $40,000 per year, you need $1 million. If it costs $60,000, then it's $1.5 million. But here's the twist. Most people overestimate how much they need because they never define what they're actually aiming for. They chase a number that sounds impressive instead of one that's actually relevant. The moment you define your freedom number, the fog lifts. You stop comparing your life to someone else's. You stop blindly following advice that doesn't fit your goals. You gain a measuring stick that finally makes sense. Suddenly, saving isn't about sacrifice, it's about acceleration. Spending isn't guilt, it's trade-off. And work becomes a choice, not a sentence. This is why the freedom number is more than math. It's a mindset. It turns the abstract into the actionable. It replaces anxiety with a plan. And once that plan is in place, momentum becomes inevitable. Because when you finally know where the finish line is, every step starts to matter more. Knowing your freedom number is one thing, living differently because of it. That's the breakthrough. Most people hear the number and freeze. They think, great, but I'm nowhere close. Or worse, this will take me decades. That's because they're still seeing the number as a finish line, when really it's a compass. It's not meant to pressure you, it's meant to guide you. Think of it like this. If you wanted to drive across the country, would you just get in your car and guess? Of course not. You'd pull up a map, plan your route, break it down into miles per day. Suddenly, what felt massive becomes manageable. The freedom number works the same way. Take that number, maybe it's $800,000. Divide it by 10 years. That's $80,000 a year. Divide that by 12. That's around $600 a month. Now you've got a monthly target. It's real, it's visible. You can start reverse engineering your lifestyle around it. This is where traditional advice breaks down. Save 10%. Max out your Roth IRA. Good advice, but without context, it feels like moving pebbles when you're trying to build a mountain. Now imagine instead, you cut $500 of wasteful spending, not because you're being frugal, but because it buys you months of freedom. You take on a skill-based side income, not forever, but until you hit your next milestone. You invest not just in index funds, but in knowledge, in leverage, in systems that compound. Every dollar has direction, every effort stacks. And here's the wild part. Once momentum builds, it builds fast. One case study, a couple earning a combined $90,000. At first, they were saving $5,000 a year. After calculating their freedom number, they restructured everything. They moved to a smaller city, automated their savings, rented out a basement. Within 5 years, they saved over $200,000. Not because they made six figures, because they had a North Star. They stopped drifting and started building. That's the power of clarity. Not motivation, not hustle, clarity. It's what turns noise into action, and it's what separates those who get free from those who stay stuck. Let's zoom out. If everything up to this point has landed, then one truth should be clear. Financial freedom isn't a fantasy. It's math. It's not some unreachable dream reserved for lucky few. It's a system, a number, a path. And if you know your number, you've already done what 90% of people never do. Now comes the shift from insight to action. Here's your 3-step starter plan. Step 1, define your real lifestyle cost. Not your current budget, not a stripped-down survival mode version, but the actual life you want to live long-term. Write it down, tally it up, monthly, then annually. Step 2, multiply by 25. That's your freedom number. Don't panic if it's large. That's normal. This number isn't there to intimidate you, it's there to focus you. Step 3, reverse engineer the route. Break it into 10-year, 5-year, and 1-year milestones. Then ask, what can I do today to shorten the distance? It could be as small as cutting an unnecessary bill, or as big as changing cities, careers, or mindsets. Whatever it is, let it be driven by clarity, not pressure. Because the moment you measure progress in months of freedom instead of dollars in a bank, your relationship with money will change forever. Freedom is not about working harder, it's about working smarter, with a target in sight. And once you have that target, every sacrifice becomes strategy. Every decision becomes deliberate. You stop drifting, you start building, and most importantly, you start winning on your terms. So here's the challenge. Calculate your freedom number. Drop it in the comments below, even if it's rough. Not for validation, but for accountability. If this sparked something in you, hit like and subscribe. We've got more deep dive strategies coming that'll help you master your money, your mindset, and your time. Because this isn't just about finance, it's about freedom. And freedom starts when you decide to name your number and chase it with purpose.